Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. It is August 28th, 2025. I hope everybody's having a good day. Today, we're going to talk about the shooting at the Catholic church and school in Minneapolis yesterday. Okay? Of course, they're screaming gun control and all this stuff. If the guns wouldn't exist, these kids wouldn't be dead and all this stuff, and these people wouldn't be hurt. Okay, and not addressing the real problem, mental illness, or what caused this. And I like to say to everybody who's all for gun control, now in Europe, you can't even have a squirt gun, and you're not even allowed to own a knife, as we saw from the 14-year-old girl that had to defend herself against a 28-year-old person who believes in Aloha snack bar, who was following her and her sister, 12-year-old sister. Okay, so Europe, knives aren't even allowed anymore because knives became too dangerous. See, the thing is, it's not the tool, it's what's going through the person's mind. Okay, you got somebody that wants to wear dresses and stuff, they may not be mentally stable if they're a man. If they think men can get pregnant and they're a man, they may not be mentally stable. Okay, if they think there can be a woman and they're a man, they may not be mentally stable. I mean, how many is this? 7 of them now, I think, of people that are gender mixed up, that have caused great harm to people. I mean, we haven't even seen the manifesto of the crazy girl who thought she was a boy in Nashville yet, have we? And the only reason we got to see this manifesto is because it got out on social media before they could clamp it down. But anyway, this is what Minnesota's dealing with. That's why I got out of that state. 2022, I finally had to leave. Couldn't deal with it anymore. All the small towns that I grew up around, all being taken over by foreigners, mainly by Somalian foreigners that don't understand their culture. I mean, it's farm ground and stuff. They don't understand traditional, conservative American values. And they're coming into all these small towns. By the way, that's one problem Minnesota has. But this could have been avoided. I mean, you don't encourage mental illness. Mental illness is like any disease. It progresses until it gets to this point where it kills the host. And now you got these people that are losing their minds, being put on all these, I mean, all transgender people are on antipsychotics and antidepressants. And you're encouraging their mental illness. And now we got 15 people that have been wounded and 2 8 and 10-year-old children that have been killed. Because some lunatic, crazed person that told that society has to accept him just decided to create carnage. And then he took his own life. Saved the taxpayers' money, but he caused a lot of grief. When are they going to open the mental asylums again? In a big city, like I watch people from New York and the one's Angry Prepper. I really like him. Big black guy, retired fireman. I think he's retired fireman now. I think he's retired now after he got forced to quit because he wouldn't take the shot, and then they called him back and he was able to retire. But he's walking around the city. These people are not normal. These people, if they were in this street, I live in a county that's very small, but if they were here, they would get the help they needed. They wouldn't be allowed to do their crazy stuff. You walking down the street in a big city, you got to have eyes all over you because of the mental illness going around. These people can snap at any minute. Throw gasoline on you and throw a match on you. Inject you with something with a needle that they just got done using. Infect you with AIDS and all this stuff. These people don't care. And mental illness is being promoted. Well, you know, Minnesota is a transgender sanctuary state. We need to treat mental illness again. Like I say, it's a tragedy not to treat mental illness. And sometimes tragedies come out of that because mental illness hasn't been treated. And this is what they were dealing with. Encourage. All these doctors, I mean, this is crazy time. Crazy time. I can't believe how idiotic human thinking has gotten. I mean, they're not tolerant to the Constitution or anything that is American culture, nothing. But they're tolerant to all this retarded shit. I mean, if my girls would have came home to me and said, I want to be a boy, okay, I would have hit them with a dose of reality. Anyway, this is what happens when we don't treat mental illness. And it's going to keep happening and keep happening and keep happening. Oh, whatever happened with that Minnesota assassin that killed those politicians, and supposedly Tim Walz had hired him to kill Klobuchar. What's her first name? Can't remember. Not that, she's a piece of shit anyway, so she could take her Senate seat. Whatever happened to that got swept around the corner. And then I'm sure the mayor of Rochester with the Shiloh Hendricks and all her grandstanding is going to run for governor next year. Any money on it? Anybody want to put any bets on that? Anyway, but this is Minnesota, people. That's why I had to get out of there. It's a dangerous place, and my kids are still there. Very dangerous place. My grandson has to go to school with a litter box in his room because kids think they're furries. Mental illness unleashed wildly in Minnesota. And now the average person is going to pay. And the politician and the doctors that are encouraging this shit are going to be set, never be held accountable. Anyway, stay safe out there, everybody. Hug your kids and tell them you love them every day, because they got to go out in this world that's a lot more unsafe than it was when I was a child. But don't worry, our country's getting better, right? Anyway, that's all I got for today. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.